Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite cash game plays for this Week 15 NFL DraftKings main slate. Let's dive right into it. And like I always do here in these videos, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of my cheat sheet, breaking down some of my favorite cash game plays here for this Week 15 NFL DraftKings main slate. But as always everyone, just want to remind you and highly recommend joining my free Discord channel. You can see that mentioned above. Over 850 people in there talking multiple different sports for DFS, but primarily NFL and NHL. If you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment below. With that being said, let's dive into the cheat sheet here. We're going to kick it off at the quarterback position. First guy that I got there is Bo Nix of the Denver Broncos, who's been truly solid as a rookie this year, showing a little more rushing upside earlier in the season. That's come down a little bit here as of late, but he's throwing the ball much better here as of late too, and I like the matchup at home this week against the Indianapolis Colts. I seem to be one of few people on him on the cash side of things here for Week 15. A lot of people seem to be on Kyler Murray, and I absolutely have no problem with that. I do like the matchup at home here against the New England Patriots. He obviously brings that nice rushing upside, which usually brings him a safe floor as well and a decent ceiling. He's just a little inconsistent at times, but I do think he gets there, hits that 3x value in this matchup this week against New England, so he's the most popular quarterback play heading into Week 15. I think Justin Herbert is solid here this week. I know he hasn't been great in his last two games. Sounds like he's kind of battling an injury right now as well, and maybe that's why he hasn't performed well, but I do really like this matchup here against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially if Ladd McConkey plays this week. I have to believe he's going to, has been practicing in a limited fashion. Sounds like he almost played last weekend, which again leads me to believe he will play here in Week 15. And then Jameis Winston, I like this play a lot more, assuming the weather's going to be decent. It sounds like we're going to get sustained winds around 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25-30 miles per hour. I don't necessarily love that, so let's keep an eye on the weather in this game. If it's high winds, I'm probably going to fade Jameis in cash, but if it turns out that the weather is good, I do like this price here at 5,500. He has been solid in the games that he started this year, giving us a safe floor around 13 DraftKings points and a ceiling around 30 plus DraftKings points. Now moving on to the running backs here, we got some nice options on this slate at this position, really a number of different ways that we can go. It's not often you're going to see me highlight 6 running backs here for the cash side of things, but it's one of those weeks where I do believe we can go a number of different routes. My preferred plays here, obviously under the favorite cash game plays, I do have 2 honorable mentions though in Chase Brown, who's been involved in all aspects of that Cincinnati offense. If they're winning, he's running the ball more. If they're losing, he's seeing more targets. I just prefer Joe Mixon a little bit more if I'm going to be spending up in the 7K range. And then if Rashad White, if he's going to be the lead back this week, no Bucky Irving, he'll probably get bumped up to my favorite cash game plays. But for the time being, I do like Joe Mixon in this matchup against the Miami Dolphins. Another guy who's just involved in this offense, no matter if they're winning or losing, he's going to be seeing touches and opportunities. James Conner, really good matchup here against the New England Patriots. Another guy who's just involved in this offense, whether they're winning or losing. Chuba Hubbard's shown some really nice upside here, really all season long, but there's always cause for concern when Bryce Young is under center. Ever since coming off the bench, Chuba Hubbard's been fine with Bryce Young at the quarterback position, and I love the matchup here this week against the Dallas Cowboys. Speaking of the Cowboys, I like the other side of that game as well. Rico Dowdle here going up against that Carolina defense, which has been one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL all year long. Now folks, before we dive into some of these wide receiver plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. It's completely free to do, and every like, comment, and sub that you guys leave truly does help me out. Also want to grab your attention here for just 20 to 30 seconds. For you golf fans out there, I do run a YouTube golf channel as well called Mulligan Masters Golf, running that with some of my best friends. If you could check this out, I'll link it in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment below. You can see we're at 632 for subs right now. The next goal is 1,000, so again, if you could check that out, I'd really appreciate it. Alright, now diving into the wide receivers here, kicking it off with Ja'Marr Chase. If I'm looking to spend up here this week, Chase seems like the go-to option for me. He's been a target and volume monster as of late, really over the last 5-6 weeks here. And I like this spot here against the Tennessee Titans, whose secondary has not been great as of late. We know Ja'Marr Chase can win in any matchup, and honestly, he should be priced in the 9K range based off of how he's played here as of late. So I do believe we're getting him at a discount. Courtland Sutton's been phenomenal with Bo Nix under center this year, and I think he's a little mispriced as well. You could price him in the 7K range, and I like this matchup against Indianapolis this week. Another guy who's just been a target monster. Name dropped Ladd McConkey earlier. This guy's great, and he's only going to get better here with Justin Herbert under center. I know that Herbert's kind of battling a little injury right now, but the upside just goes up in this Chargers offense overall. What Ladd McConkey is playing, it sounds like he could have played last week, but they just held him out. Makes sense. He's young. There's a lot of upside with this guy, and the Chargers should make the playoffs here this year, so no reason to really force him in a game when he's battling injuries. But I believe that he's going to play here this week. He's been practicing in a limited fashion, and this guy wants to be out on the field. And then Adam Thielen there. Now, I don't love the idea of playing two Carolina Panthers in my same cash lineup, but Thielen has seen double-digit targets now in back-to-back games, hit 20-plus DraftKings points, and another good matchup here against the Dallas Cowboys. So if I had to choose, I'd just pick one of him and Chuba, but it might comes down to just a salary thing here where I end up playing both of those guys. And then Jerry Jeudy's been great with Jameis Winston on our center. Again, it really just comes down to the weather in that game. And then Calvin Ridley. I know a lot of people are going to be playing him in cash this week. He's projecting to be one of the most popular wide receiver plays. I just don't know if I love the price here at $5,900. If he was closer to $5,300, $5,400, I'd probably put him in as a favorite play. But when you're around that 6K range, I need you to be a little more consistent, like that of a Ladd McConkey or a Courtland Sutton, so he ended up as an honorable mention. Now, when it comes to the tight ends this week, I highly doubt I'm going to be able to spend up for Trey McBride, but I do believe he needs to be a cash game consideration. Double-digit targets here in multiple straight games. He has yet to score a touchdown this year as well, so you got to believe that there's some positive regression coming his way. He's getting way too many targets and looks not to score a touchdown this season, I guess. It's kind of weird to say. We're here in week 15 right now, but again, I just really don't foresee myself getting there when we have value like Brenton Strange or even Stone Smart in the mid 2K range. I'll probably just jam in one of those guys and look to spend up elsewhere. And then when it comes to the defenses here, I'd love to be able to get up to the Denver Broncos, coming off of a bye, playing at home here this week, going up against an Indianapolis Colts offense that has not been great this year, and this Broncos defense just has some playmakers on the back end. I also like the Arizona Cardinals here. I know they burned us last week. I was a victim to that, but a significantly better matchup here this week, going up against a rookie quarterback in Drake May. And this Cardinals defense was playing some good ball prior to last week's debacle, so $3,000 here, I do think they're in play. If we're looking to save some money, I know some people are on the Cleveland Browns going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I honestly don't mind that at $2,200 if the weather is going to be bad in that game. But if the weather's decent, I probably don't want to play a defense against Patrick Mahomes, so I don't mind the Panthers here going up against the Dallas Cowboys. This Panthers defense has actually racked up some solid sacks here in their last 3 games. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great weekend here, folks, and let's win some money on this Week 15 main slate.